So, hi, my name is Lori Leroy. To all that are watching, I'm part of the STEM Academy and I'm a student ambassador. So, now I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your career field and your job position.
Okay, my name is Doug Davis, and I work for Missouri Employers Mutual Insurance Company as the operations manager in the safety and risk department. I basically spend most of my time helping other consultants perform consultations with our insured policyholders. And with that, we typically will go out and gather information from the underwriter to price the policy, but we also go out to help the policyholder understand what their exposures are from a safety standpoint and how they can make their job safer for their employees while also making that job more efficient and profitable.
So, how did you get to where you are now in your career?
I graduated from college with an industrial engineering degree and a computer science degree. And I really thought I was going to go to work for Microsoft or Frito-Lay. But I also interviewed with an insurance company. I ended up getting job offers from all three, but the insurance company explained how I could make a difference in people getting home each day safely. And that just really intrigued me. And it's been interesting. I've worked in 7 different states. I've worked with oil field companies, seeing how oil rigs drill and discover oil. I've worked offshore at oil rigs. I've worked with the big 3 and consultations on introducing robots into their manufacturing process. So you can see it was really interesting that you get to see how things are made and how jobs are done with the profession that I do. So every day you may be with the school district walking through their hallways looking for slip, trip, fall hazards, or you could be at a manufacturing plant. So very interesting.
You basically just answered my next question, but going off that, what is your favorite part about your job?
The most favorite part is obviously getting to see how things are made and how things are built and how they're done. From, like, say, if we insure it, someone on my team probably goes out there ahead of time and then works with that policyholder anytime they call and ask for assistance. And that's just fun to do.
Oh, nice. Is there a part that's not as enjoyable?
Yeah, the tough part is after you get done gathering all this information, you have to write the report describing what you saw, what needs to change, and what does that account do very well that reduces the risk for the insurance company.
What was your very first job you had?
Very first job I had was working for Target stores as a cashier. And I also had a second job while in college working at Target. I also worked as a bartender. And in both cases, it was quite different, but you had customers that you were constantly working with.
So what did you learn from those experiences?
Well, basically to listen and understand what the customer needed, because if you can fulfill that need, obviously it's a great experience for them and it's less time spent by you, whether it's taking a drink order and making the drink properly or directing them to where a product is located in the store.
So what did your educational pathway look like?
Well, it started with trying to decide, was I going to go to college or was I going to go into the Navy? And between the two, I ended up deciding that college was the route that I wanted to go. So I went to Iowa State University and I met with a counselor because I really had no idea. Well, okay, I'm here at college now. What do I want to do? Do I want to be in business? What do I want to do? And I took an aptitude test, which kind of told me where my strengths were. And it ended up that math was one of my strong suits. And ended up, then they suggested I go talk with 3 different departments. And I went and talked with the dean of each department and decided that engineering had the most interest for me. And then the teacher that I was assigned to, my advisor, said, you know, have you considered computers? It's kind of a new field. So I ended up going into both. It took a little longer, 6 years of college instead of 4, because getting the double degree required that extra amount of time.
So for any students who want to prepare to go into a job position like yours, what classes should they take in high school?
Okay. In high school, I focused on the math side, but that's also where I excelled anyway in my interest. So that helped a lot. So I would say math skills are important, but also just even reading was important. Excelling at understanding what was the integral part of what you read, breaking the information down to understand what was important and what was just nice to read. So it was really those two things that helped me the most. As in my job, you do a lot of reading of policy and procedures. You look at business plans. You look at diagrams of the operation, and so the math helps with analyzing what you're looking at. But the reading is just as important to pull out that information that you have to analyze.
Mhm. Um, what is your definition of success?
Um, my definition of success, that's always a tough one, but to me, it's walking away feeling that I helped someone is the most successful and most rewarding part of my job. So my definition of success is not only helping the person, but it's basically getting them home each night safely or their employees home safely. And that's very rewarding instead of having to do the other side. On a daily basis, I receive notices of claims and how people were hurt on the job. And that's always the other side of it. Could I have done something to help them have avoided that injury?
Mhm. What can students do now to help them prepare to get a job in this field in the future?
Well, the best thing I would advise is improve your listening skills. And by that, I mean, can you pick out the critical parts of what someone is telling you? And you can repeat that back to them by, so I'm hearing you tell me this is important, or repeat back to them what you think is the most important part of what they told you to make sure that you're getting the message from them. That would be the most important part, I would say. Now, the other side of it, obviously, as we've discussed, the more I can break down how things are done and look for things to improve. And if you can do that, then you're going to be good at any job you choose, whether it be you decide, no, college isn't for me, but this is, whether it be working with the Navy, the Air Force, or one of those armed services, or perhaps you decide just to go into a trades route. If you can break the job down and understand how to do it the best, your employer is going to be so happy with you because you're going to be able to do more with your day and be more effective and help them save on material costs, time costs, and things of that nature.
So we're about to close out this interview, but is there anything you'd like to tell students? I mean, you did a great job summing up pretty much everything, though.
Uh, well, I guess the other thing I would tell you is stick with it. College, as I said, I worked my way through college. It was not easy, but I had that final goal in mind. And I didn't pass all my classes, the first time through. Don't give up. It would be the thing I would say. Have that dream, stick with it, and you will get there. I didn't graduate as a 4.0 student, but I stuck with it. I put in the time I could, working 2 jobs plus college. I didn't always have time to study as much as I could for the course, but I did focus on what were the most important elements to help me be successful later. And what I got on the score on the test, I related it back to what did I put in as my effort? Does that seem like a fair response for the time I was able to spend? And that would be the advice I would give you, because if you stick with it and you continue to try to learn, even when you're done with college, high school, or whatever it is, continue to challenge yourself to learn about what you're doing and how to do it better. And you will be well served. You will enjoy the work more, and you will have opportunities to be promoted if that's what you would prefer to do.
Okay. Thank you so much for your help and your interest for helping the students here at the ISD. I thank you again so much.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Enjoy talking with people about career choices and stuff all the time.
Thank you again so much. I can't thank you enough.
Could I add one more thought? I interview about probably 25 to 50 people a year. So come in having looked at what that company does and try to understand it and how you might fit into that picture. And when you interview for a particular job, remember, you're interviewing not only for that job, you're interviewing for several opportunities they may. So the more you know about that business that you want to work for, the better served you will be to find a position with it.
Thank you.
You bet.